is food microbiology and its effect on our daily uses. Since food microbiology is a field that focuses on microbes interact with food and can cause food spoilage, we have four main issues, which is first, foodborne infection, second, microbial resistance, third, cross-contamination, and food spoilage. Because of that, we have the reason and the solution for that with enough explanation. By understanding it, we can improve food security and encourage healthier eating habits.
Okay, in this section, we will discuss on food microbiology in our daily life. First of all, this section will consist of 4 topics, which are food spoilage, foodborne illness, antimicrobial resistance, and cross-contamination, especially during cooking. However, I will only discuss on food spoilage and foodborne illness, while 2 last topics will be discussed by our friend IRHAM. Without further ado, I will answer the question, how microbes spoil our food. First thing first, what is food spoilage? Food spoilage refers to the process by which food deteriorates to the point where it is no longer edible or acceptable due to change in taste, smell, appearance, or texture. This is primarily caused by the growth and metabolic activities of microorganisms such as bacteria, molds, and yeast, leading to off flavor, odor, and visual, resulting in food waste and economic losses. So there are 4 microbes that contribute to the microbial growth in the food, which are yeast, mold, bacteria, and viruses. Yeast can ferment sugar in food, causing off flavor, alcohol production, and gas formation, leading to spoilage. Yeast such as Saccharomyces can ferment sugar in food that can cause to carbon dioxide gas production. Mold, like Aspergillus and Penicillium, thrive in environment with low water activity. They produce visible growth, discoloration, and sometimes mycotoxin, which are harmful of ingested. Type of food that easily being invaded is bakery product. After that, bacteria. Bacteria such as Pseudomonas, Lactobacillus, and Clostridium can grow on food, leading to souring, slime production, and off odor. Usually, foods like fish, vegetable, and fruit can easily perish because of this bacteria. Lastly, virus. Viruses such as enterovirus and sulforovirus can contaminate food and cause foodborne illnesses like gastroenteritis. This virus can be transmitted through the fecal-oral route by consuming contaminated food or water. For the next topic, which is foodborne illness and how it can affect to the human. Foodborne illness, commonly known as food poisoning, refer to a range of illnesses caused by consuming contaminated food or beverage, whether infectious or non-infectious. This contamination can occur due to harmful microorganisms such as bacteria, viruses, and parasites, or from toxins and chemicals present in the food. It is a widespread public health issue that affects millions of people worldwide each year. Food poisoning, however, is a type of foodborne sickness caused by toxins found in food. These toxins are often created by bacteria and cause symptoms shortly after the contaminated meal is consumed. According to World Health Organization (WHO), this disease causes approximately 420,000 deaths annually, with children under 5 years old accounting for a disproportionate number of fatalities.
Next is antimicrobial resistance. Antimicrobial resistance is a condition in which microorganisms such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, or parasites become resistant to the effect of antimicrobial drugs such as antibiotics, antivirals, antifungis, or antiparasitics. This means the drugs become less effective, making infections more difficult to track, and increasing the risk of spreading disease as complication or death. But how microorganisms gain resistance? First is by adaptive mutation. It is a survival mechanism of microorganisms such that occurs when the use of antimicrobials with inappropriate and inconsistent amounts. Under this stress condition, bacteria increase its mutation rates to survive and adapt. Second is by horizontal gene transfer. It is a transfer DNA mechanism into bacteria cells. There are three methods to transfer resistance DNA, which are transformation, conjugation, and transduction. Transformation is when microorganisms absorb free DNA in their environment through their cell walls and cell membranes. This DNA usually comes from other bacteria that have lives or died. If this DNA has a gene for antimicrobial resistance, the microorganisms that absorb it can also become resistant to antimicrobials. Conjugation is the process of gene transfer between two bacteria through pilus conjugation. The transferred plasmid DNA contains an antimicrobial resistance gene and causes microorganisms to obtain this gene easily. Lastly, transduction. It was a process of gene transfer using a virus or bacteriophage life cycle. When a bacteriophage infects other bacteria, it will take a small fragment of that bacteria's DNA. Then the DNA will be injected into other bacteria when it infecting them. This DNA can contain antimicrobial resistance genes and will be accepted by recipients bacteria. Antimicrobial resistance is very scary, even more when pathogenic bacteria gain it. But how antimicrobial resistance bacteria get into our foods? First is using antimicrobial in crop farming. The use of antimicrobials in animal farming is twice of the use of antimicrobial by humans. This causes antimicrobial resistance easier to found in animals. Hence, in meat from farm animals may have antimicrobial resistance bacteria. Next is by contaminated water. Antimicrobial resistance spread in soil and water. When it reaches to water sources, it will contaminate the water. Drinking the water may cause foodborne illness and diarrhea. Otherwise, as antimicrobial resistance spread in soil also, vegetables and fruits may be contaminated by them. Eating raw vegetables and fruits without washing them properly may cause infection by antimicrobial resistance pathogenic bacteria. Lastly, the trend of eating half-cooked meat. Half-cooked meat may contain bacteria that do not die during cooking. Since antimicrobial resistance bacteria could be found in farmed animals' meat, eating it raw may cause infection to us. Next current issue is cross-contamination. Cross-contamination is an accident that causes pathogens to be transferred from spoiled, uncooked foods or dirty things to clean or cooked foods. Cross-contamination is like a healthy person being infected from a person who has a fever or sick. When and where it happens? First is by transfer of pathogens from cleaning tools such as sponge. Sponge will become a medium for bacterial growth because of the moisture and nutrients that's gathered in it. It also happens when using the same sponge for a long time. Using the same sponge to clean utensils, sinks, and table surface may cause dirt from other place to move to other place and reach our foods. Cross-contamination also happens during food preparation when using contaminated hands to touch cooked foods. Same to using similar utensils for raw materials and cooked food or ready-to-eat meals, such as using same cutting board and knife for food. Lastly, it occurs in food storage or refrigerator. Inappropriate arrangements, such as put raw materials on top of the ready-to-eat meals or cooked food in the same chiller may cause cross-contamination. Raw materials may be wet and dripping the water contain bacteria on the food. Otherwise, cross-contamination also can happen in dirty food storage. For example, water of raw materials in chiller not clean and then put other food on the same place may cause the bacteria from the water go to the foods. That's how cross-contamination happens.
Next, to prevent from antimicrobial resistance in food, alternative for antibiotic and one health approach method can be used. Let's discuss sustainable alternative for antibiotic first. A major solution lies in the use of essential oil. Food safety authorities have classified essential oil as generally recognized as safe or drugs, which means they can be directly applied to food products. These plant-based chemicals are not only effective in meat preservation, but also more environmentally friendly compared to artificial chemicals. By using natural alternatives, we can reduce our reliance on harmful preservation, creating a safer and more sustainable food production system. On the other hand, the One Health approach is a revolutionary way of tackling antimicrobial resistance by integrating human, animal, and environmental health. This strategy promotes cooperation among agencies and research institutes across various sectors, ensuring early detection and monitoring of AMR. Through this approach, new antibiotics, vaccines, and alternative remedies are being developed, decreasing our dependency on existing drugs. Countries like Sweden, Denmark, and the Netherlands have already seen success in reducing antibiotic resistance through integrated programs like these. International collaboration and public awareness campaigns play a crucial role in this ongoing battle against AMR. Prevention of cross-contamination in food safety. One of the best strategies is proper food storage, guided by HACCP system. Are you familiar with HACCP system? HACCP helps identify and control potential hazards in food handling. For example, raw meats, poultry, and fish should be always be stored at the bottom of the refrigerator to prevent their juices from dripping onto other foods. Also, raw and cooked food must be kept apart, and using airtight containers help to limit bacteria spread and odors. These simple practices reduce contamination risk and maintain food quality, whether in professional kitchens or in our home. Lastly, hand hygiene plays a pivotal role in preventing cross-contamination. Research shows that washing your hands for at least 20 seconds significantly lowers the risk of spreading pathogens. The key steps include using warm water and soap, scrubbing every part of your hands, including the back, between the fingers, and under the nails. After rinsing, it is essential to dry your hands with a single-use towel to avoid recontamination. These extra steps have been shown to reduce microbial loads and contamination on food surfaces. To truly improve food safety, we must prioritize hand washing and ensure everyone is aware of these critical practices.
Let's talk about something we all deal with, food spoilage. It's not just unpleasant, it's a real threat to food safety. So how we can prevent it? Simple, discard spoiled food as soon as possible. First, let's talk about bacteria and mold. You've heard the saying, one bad apple can spoil the whole barrel, right? Well, it's not just a saying, it's a true. Spoiled food releases bacteria, mold spores, and even ethylene gas, which can quickly spread and ruin everything around it. Second, don't let spoiled or leaking food sit in your fridge. Why? Because bacteria love moisture. High moisture levels combines with food nutrition, especially in items like dairy and meat, create the perfect breeding ground for harmful pathogens. Remember, a clean fridge is a safe fridge. Let's face it, when it comes to preventing foodborne illnesses, it's all starts with us. As food service workers, you are the heroes behind the scenes. Handling and preparing food every day, your hygiene and habits directly impact the safety of what's end up on the plate. Simple action like washing hands, wearing clean uniforms, and staying home when unwell make a big difference. By taking care of ourselves, we protect our customer, our reputation, and their trust. Let's make safe food as a priority because it starts with safe habits. Cleanliness matters big time. Wearing clean clothing isn't just about looking good, it's about keeping food safe. Dirty uniforms can carry germs like salmonella or E. coli, which can easily transfer to the food you handle. So, start every shift fresh and clean. It's a simple step that protects both the food and your reputation. Hand washing is a small step with a big impact on food safety. Handle raw chicken, then prep a salad. No one wants raw chicken germs on their greens. Stop and wash your hands. It's crucial anytime you switch from raw food to items that won't be cooked. And remember, hand washing isn't a one-time task. Each time you touch something that could contaminate raw meat, dirty tools, or even your face, head back to the sink. It's your superpower against foodborne illnesses.
Now, moving on to Inak section. The first surah is from Surah Yusuf, the 12th surah in Al-Quran, verse 47 until 49. Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, advised the king to store the excess grain during the years of abundance and specifically suggested leaving the grain in its spike to help preserve the grain for a longer period. The relationship between these verses and its relevance with food microbiology is by keeping the grain in its natural state to minimize the risk of microbial contamination. Without proper storage, grains can become contaminated with fungi and bacteria. There are several scientific insights obtained from Surah Yusuf verse 47 until 49, such as leave grains in spikes, drying and dehydration to remove moisture from food, and vacuum sealing by removing air from the packaging, which not only prevents oxidation but also keeps spoilage, causing microorganisms at bay. This everlasting lesson emphasizes how crucial it is to reduce food waste and provide food security in a society where environmental issues and population increase are major concerns. To avoid microbial contamination and keep food safe and nourishing, it is also essential to maintain cleanliness and hygiene during food handling and storage.
In Surah An-Nahl, ayah 67, وَمِنْ ثَمَرَاتِ النَّخِيلِ وَالْأَعْنَابِ تَتَّخِذُونَ مِنْهُ سَكَرًا وَرِزْقًا حَسَنًا إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةً لِقَوْمٍ يَعْقِلُونَ. So this verse highlight the natural fermentation process in food microbiology, where microorganisms transform fruit like dates and grapes into products such as vinegar, alcohol, and other fermented food. In daily life, microbial fermentation is essential for producing bread, yogurt, and probiotic, contributing to food preservation, enhanced flavor, and gut health. In short, understanding microbial activity allows us to use fermentation wisely for health and food security, aligning with Quranic principle. So next, in Surah Al-An'am, ayah 95, Inna Allah falikul habbi wan nawa yukhrijul hayya minal mayyiti wa mukhrijul mayyiti minal hayy zalikumullah fa anna tu'fakun. So this verse highlight Allah's wisdom in the cycle of life and death, which is closely related to food microbiology. Microorganisms play a crucial role in breaking down dead matter for soil enrichment in order for plants to grow and produce foods. They also contribute to fermentation, transforming simple ingredients into nutritious food like cheese, yogurt, and bread. Overall, this verse reminds us the perfect balance of Allah in nature, and it reflects how the Quran shows timeless wisdom both in science and daily life.
As a conclusion, antimicrobial resistance, cross-contamination, food spoilage, and foodborne illness are the negative effect of food microbiology, and the positive effect of food microbiology is fermentation, preservation, and so on. There are many solutions for the issue in this video to enhance food safety, cutting waste, and lowering health concern. This evidence-based action will also lead to a safer and more sustainable food supply. That's all from us. Thank you for watching our